If you don't know what you're looking at, that's a homemade solar oven in front of you. I built it, and today we're going to give it a test. All right, thanks for joining me today. This is a project that I wanted to do for a little while, and basically I had a little push to do it. There is in our town a local prep group that meets up, and I kind of covered that training center in a video, a couple weeks ago, last month sometime. It's a new training center in town, and twice a month or once a month we have meetings there, depending on what's going on that month. And our meeting this month was to build a solar oven right there with the stuff we have as easily as possible, without screws, wood, tools, pretty much basic, if you had to do it to survive. So this is what I came up with. Now this has been a little modified since that day, so I'll show you how I did it. I have video of me building it, but it's not really the build. So I put some music over it, but it really kind of is boring, so I'm not going to include it. It's just me putting tinfoil around stuff, and it's kind of boring. Anyway, this is our reflector. We're going to start off with this. This was something that the owner of the business had, a couple of these. And these are those, trifold display boards you get your kids for their science projects and stuff. One of those deals. And I just covered it with tinfoil. And to hold it on there, I have it taped on the back, of course, but to hold the front together so it's not falling off, I put some of that metallic plumber's tape, so it kind of blends in there nicely. The box itself was a straight across box. It didn't have a lid. I made the lid. I'll show you that in a minute. But because I'm using a reflector, I changed it when I got home. I actually did this yesterday. I cut it down at an angle like this so that the reflector can reflect in. Instead of it just being straight across like this, now it has a little bit of an angle to it. Inside here are pieces of insulated styrofoam with tinfoil over it and more of the metallic tape around the side to hold it on the edges. I wasn't sure. I've always been taught to paint the middle black. So let me get the lighting on this a little better. I've always been taught to get the middle black. So what I did was, we did it with tinfoil this time. If it doesn't work well, we're going to go back to painting the whole interior black. So that's about it. Now we're not going to go too crazy with this idea. I'll show you what I'm going to make. Just to test it out, I'm not going to do a big, I'm not going to put a huge casserole in there to start with. I'll be lucky if it gets water warm. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to put together once we move this out of the way. I did forget to show you the top. Let me do that. The top is just a piece of flat cardboard that I cut and made into a lid for it. This here is that clear plastic that they use to bake in, that baking plastic. They're oven bags, I guess you'd call them. You put them in a slow cooker or whatever. And I just took one thin sheet of it, put it across here and taped it in. The inside of this is not very pretty. But if this works, I'm willing to do a little upgrade and kind of mess around with it. And what I want to do with this is kind of find a good design and maybe eventually build one out of wood and make it a permanent fixture. We're going to put this in my backyard kind of prep test area. So we're going to see how it works out there. And if it does work well, I'm willing to put some time in and build myself something. So what I'm going to cook with it, we're not getting fancy. It's just a half a cup of rice in some water. Then I put some tin foil over. This is in a metal bowl. I've already rinsed the rice off and the water's already in it. So we're going to see if it works. It's a fairly easy thing to cook. Of course, we're going to give it, a couple hours. And these things do take long. So if you're, if you need to eat in a half hour, don't plan on using a solar cooker. They will run anywhere from 4 to 6 to 8 hours sometimes, depending on what you're cooking. And that's for the super efficient ones. So who knows, something homemade, if it's going to work or not as well. So that's why I'm starting small, okay? If you want to cook something quickly at a high temperature, you kind of have to think more towards a propane stove or, a fire or whatever. Something like this, it's going to take a while. So anyway, I'm going to take this outside. I'm going to set it up. I'm going to bring you out there. And what we're going to do is, I'm probably going to leave it out there for 2 hours just to start. Because it's about 8 o'clock in the morning here, okay? So the sun's really just kind of coming up and getting bright. So I'm going to leave it out there for 2 hours just to start and see how it goes. and we'll check on it. So this is I'm probably gonna do this throughout the day. So you may be seeing this video late at night when I put it up, you know, the day I put it up. But we're gonna check on this every few hours and see how it comes out. So let's get it outside and give it a try. All right, so there it is. It's all set up. It's outside. Again, this is not a fast cooking method, so we're going to have to periodically check on this throughout the day. I think I have it in the best angle. You know, the sun sort of comes up, you can see my reflection there, sort of comes up this way over the house. And got to remember too, we got very hazy skies right now because we're dealing with all that smoke from the California wildfires, and we're literally about 10 miles inside the border of Nevada, so we're getting a lot of it from the Southern California fires. So we're going to see how well it works with just average conditions, not really doing this before. I've never built one of these before. I built one many years ago, but I never used it. So we'll try it out, and we'll check back in a couple hours. It's about, I want to say about 8:20, 8:15 now. So we'll see how it works a little bit. All right, it's been about almost 2 hours. Let's see where we're at here. I'll tell you one thing. Let's see. I don't know if you can see the thermometer. Can you see it? We're at 120, about 130. So it's doing pretty good. I can feel the metal of the thing is really hot to the touch. We're about 130. So we're going to give it another couple of hours, and then we'll actually go inside there and see what it looks like. See if we can get some rice cooked by the end of the day. Alright, so it's about 1:30 in the afternoon. Let's pop in here and see where we're at. My guess is it's going to be kind of close. No, we're up to 140. Wow, these rocks are hot. And I'm out here on my knees. 140, about 142. Not bad. Let's open it up and take a look real quick. I did find when I came out here earlier that my thing blew away. Wow, look at that. Still got water in it. So we're going to put it back in there and probably check back tonight, see if I get anywhere. So that's your update for about 1:30, and I'll come back later and we'll see how it's going. All right, back out here. Sun is starting to fade from the backyard, so pretty much whatever cooking's done is going to be done with it. I'm not sure how well it did. Let's pull it apart. I got a spoon to check it out. Ooh, that's hot. Ow. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Well, damn, that is hot. It's hard. There's still water in it. But if you had to eat it, everything's falling apart. If you had to eat it, it would work. It's still, I don't think it ever boiled, but not horrible. So that's the experiment with the little solar cooker. Definitely needs to be done right. It is a good experiment because while it did make the rice, you know, somewhat edible, it's still pretty darn hard and not too appetizing. But it did work to some extent. It would probably work great for freeze-dried stuff, for rehydrating stuff like that. That's pretty much it. If you think you're going to build one of these and, you know, cook a steak in it, you're probably not going to be able to. But, you know, hey, it was worth an experiment. Didn't come out too horrible, as you can tell there. But there's still a little bit of water left. I don't know if I used enough water, but anyway, that's the test for today, and that is my homemade solar oven. I think later on I'm going to build a proper one with some wood and some plexiglass and a real reflector. One of the problems I had out here today was this reflector kept falling down, and I had to come out and prop it up. So definitely looking into building one of these the right way and seeing how efficient I can get. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.